Hi, Gigi Barnett here from Story Sell Your Brand with this week's Media Method. How are you? I think I'm going to give myself a new title, and it's going to be Chief Debunker here at Story Sell Your Brand. I'll go into that in a little bit, but let me just tell you what's been going on lately. So I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and they're really good podcasts. But it's with some of these PR experts, these PR gurus who I just laugh at a lot. And one of them said something recently that I want to debunk, dispel, enlighten everyone on. I won't name their names, but it might be something that you've heard, and it might be a way that you're thinking in terms of getting press coverage for your brand, getting press coverage media for your business. And I don't want you to ever, 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 ever think this way. So many times we ask people when they start working with Story Sell Your Brand, hey, what are your goals? What's the media goal? If you said I was in this publication or on this TV or radio show, what would that look like? And oftentimes people will come to us and they'll say, oh, if I were in People magazine, or if I were in Forbes, or if I were in on one of those big national breakfast morning shows, or Oprah, right? Those are all great goals, great media goals. However, that's not where you start. And they all know this, right? That's not where you start. That's an end result. But the question they have then is they say, okay, where do I start? Okay, so cut to the background that I was telling you about, the podcast that I was listening to the other day. And one of these PR gurus, she said, oh yeah, the place that you start is you're going to start small, really small. And then she said, you're going to start on your friend's podcast. Huh? My friend's podcast? I was like, is she serious? I don't know about you, but how many friends do you have that have podcasts? Just random podcasts. And here's the other question. Do you feel comfortable hitting them up and asking for an invitation to be a guest? No, you don't. And what's more, who's listening? Is it, you and the host and maybe 20 of their cousins? No. That's not where you start. Let me tell you where you should start. If you are a business owner, if you are a service-based business owner and you're looking to get some media, some press for your business, there is a place to start. And let me tell you where that is. You should start small, but that small should be local news. That's where you start. You want to start with local news. And there are three reasons why. The first one is it is real. It's real media. You're talking to real reporters, real editors, real producers. It's real. And they have a real audience. Okay, I'm not saying that you have to go and be on the number one show or get in a big local newspaper. I'm not saying that, but there are small, medium-sized radio and TV shows and publications right where you are. And you also want to make sure that you get a spot on these news outlets' websites as well. Okay, so that's the first thing, is that they're real. Local news is real. Number two, it's easier to get on local news to get that kind of coverage instead of the national attention. That's because business owners in your state and in your local area, they are much likely to get coverage from the local news. Why? Because they're local. That's your tie into that particular station, that particular news outlet. They want to cover those local news stories, which just so happen to be all the stories that you have coming from your business. And you're not pitching some big national network that's tough to break in. Okay, so it's easier to get that local news attention. And then finally, it's easier to move up to bigger opportunities from local news. So how do you think those big national shows and bigger news outlets find interesting stories? The answer is they scour local news stations. They scour local news publications. They go to smaller cities and they look for the stories of the interesting stories that are happening there. And then they bring them up to the bigger shows. It's not the other way around. So when you get in a local publication or on a national local television show or radio show, the chances of your story then scaling up and reaching those bigger networks, that spikes. Okay, so those are the three reasons why you do not want to start with your friend's podcast. You want real listeners, real viewers, real readers who can then turn to you and say, hey, I want to work with you. Okay, so it's going to be easy, it's going to be real, and it's going to be easier to move up to bigger opportunities. And that's what you want to get your stories in the local news. If you want more of these kinds of tips, or you want to know how you can work with us to story sell your brand, head to storysellyourbrand.com and we will show you in 25 minutes how to 10x your visibility and celebrity through the media. You don't want to miss out on that. Let me know what you think about this, please. Hit the bell on the notification so that you can also get all of our fresh updates on our media methods here at Story Sell Your Brand. And I'll see you at storysellyourbrand.com. Bye-bye.